Hey you guys, I'm live from my home studio today, hoping that you guys can hear me, that my internet is kind, and that we have a really productive live video today. I am, of course, on quarantine. I'm on, hey Nikki, I'm on, hey Mark, thanks for hopping on. Now I know that this is actually happening because I see it. I don't see it on my computer yet. Yeah, of course I am on, I'm in social isolation. I'm self-quarantining because I have recently returned home. Thank you so much for hopping on. Super grateful. I'm here, good, loud and clear. I'm here in my home studio, which is slash my bedroom. Just painted my bedroom pink, so I thought it would go with my glasses. So I shot myself in here. And yeah, so I just came home from a trip. My partner and I took our very first ever vacation together, and of course the timing was less than impeccable given everything that has been going on with the COVID-19 pandemic. And while we were away, of course, things took an absolute turn for the worse, and the world is upside down right now, and most of us are in a state of self-quarantine, hopefully, as we try to, as they say, slow the curve. So I am at home, and I'll be at home for the next couple of weeks at least, broadcasting here from my home studio. And this is Live with Leanne, and thank you for letting me know that you're here, Mark. I'd love to know where you guys are watching from. Today we have a really special episode. This is, we will be addressing digital communications during a pandemic, and have some tips for you. I also, of course, welcome as much input as you are willing to provide. This is a time of learning for all of us as we navigate these this new territory. So yeah, I wanted to tell you quickly before I launch into the webinar a little bit of preamble around my time away. So of course, we were away, we were on a cruise. We visited Walt Disney for the first time. I have to say that was really awesome. I didn't even know that I would love Walt Disney as much as I did. I loved it. Hey, thanks for hopping on and saying stuff, because I know you're here when you do. So Daniel says good stuff, thanks for that. Also, I realized I just forgot to share it to the Anglican of Montreal Facebook page, so I'm gonna do that quickly. Yeah, so Disney was awesome. I saw Mickey Mouse, like, I never did that before. I got a bubble wand, like what? Sorry, Live with Leanne, just putting this on the Diocesan Facebook page. A special webinar on digital ministry. Yeah, so a number of you, special webinar on digital ministry in a pandemic. Please do share this video, you guys. I have lots and lots of great content for you. So I do hope that you'll share this video. I really hope this will be of great benefit to you and to your communities. Digital ministry in a pandemic. Yeah, I was getting carried away talking about Disney, and I forgot to share it. Yeah, so I went to Disney, went to the Bahamas, enjoyed a cruise ship. Everything was lovely while we were there, of course, but things became more clear that we had a really major situation on our hands. By Friday, the Europeans were evacuated from the ship as there was a clampdown on travel. From the Europeans were not able to travel from the US, so they were asked to leave the ship in Nassau, and they had to, the Europeans, I'm imagining around 1,000 of them, if there were 4,000 people on our ship, 1,000 Europeans were then stranded in Nassau trying to find accommodations and an airport to get themselves safely home, and God willing they all did so. So that was our first major indication that we had a situation on our hands. Someone can't find it. Okay, I'm gonna just, if you can't, yeah, check the Diocesan Facebook. A number of you have been reaching out to me asking for, thanks for saying hi, Neil. Thank you for all of you for being here. A number of you have been reaching out to me and asking for some extra support in terms of how to do digital ministry during a pandemic. That's the strangest noise I've ever heard out of my computer in my life. I'm gonna mute that. Yeah, and so that's why I thought, instead of, you know, dealing with you guys individually, I thought I'd put together a webinar. I'm also gonna be creating, uploading this video, and I have a PDF for you, so hopefully this is very useful. Good morning to our bishop. Of course, our bishop has requested that we suspend all face-to-face worship. So during this period, we need to be extremely creative around how we proceed, and that's why I'm here today. Thanks for the thumbs up and the hearts, and good morning to Tim Weeb, who of course is an expert in digital ministry. He's been doing all kinds of amazing stuff on his Facebook for a long time now. So start off by saying huge hats off to those of you who have already taken the situation and adapted to your context using Facebook Live, using videos and all kinds of other creative digital ministry opportunities to still continue to connect with your parishes. Bonjour, Victor David, bienvenue and welcome, and thank you for being here. This is Live with Leanne. We have a special webinar, COVID-19 webinar. How can we respond creatively and pastorally and with intention during a pandemic? So Jean-Danielle has a comment. Hopefully everybody is able to find us. The Ecumenical Chaplaincy at McGill recorded a worship service Sunday night that you're all invited to. Thank you for that link. Definitely love that you guys shoot your efforts here into the comments. Let's band together to learn together and to experiment together and to support one another in our digital efforts at this time. So I will launch right into the webinar. I will be, of course, providing lots of opportunities for input from you. Love to know what strategies you are using. I think we can learn from each other at this time. So my guidelines hopefully will be helpful, as will your input, and your questions are more than welcome. So welcome aboard to all of you. This is Live with Leanne. Is this being recorded? Yes, it is. Internet is not stable. Don't worry, Kathy. I'm going to download this video. It will be, of course, available on our website as well. And I do have a PDF for you too, which will be emailed and circulated near and far. So let's just launch in talking about digital ministry. Yes, it will be here. So glad you're here to help us. I'm so glad to be here to help us, and I'm so glad that that we're all, you know, sticking together. Now is when we need each other most. Okay, so digital ministry is one of the ways that we can continue to maintain and build relationships and community when we are isolated, right? So this is what we know. And we're doing that right now. We do this every Tuesday morning anyway, but I've heard from people throughout the past couple of years as I've been doing this that they still feel connected and in community with me as I sit usually in the Synod office and do this. This morning I'm broadcasting live from my bedroom. But I love that we're still able to feel connected. So during a pandemic such as we're in right now, this is the way that we can stay connected using digital ministry. I'm going to talk about what digital ministry is. This is not the end of it. This is the one of the things we can do, but I have a lot more ideas for you. We want to, of course, continue to pray together. We want to be able to lament. We want to respond. We want to care for one another while we're in social isolation. Probably more so than ever. I think people are more than ever feeling fearful and in need of pastoral care. So I'm going to review some options for digital communication, including pitfalls and strengths of the different platforms. I'll review some strategies and best practices. And ultimately, I'm trying to encourage for you today a spirit of curiosity, right? Creativity and experimentation. This is an experimental time for us in digital ministry because we are, of course, in new waters. And along with this spirit of experimentation means we need to be somewhat okay with sometimes making mistakes. As we know, digital communication such as this is not always perfect. Some people have an unstable internet connection. Some people have technical issues. You know, your phone might be on the not working well. So you need to just be patient and be experimental and be okay if things are not perfect, because that's the way it rolls. I really want to interact with you this morning. I want to make sure that you feel safe to be able to shoot your questions and comments here, and also any suggestions that you may have. Keep in mind also, these are early days. We're right at the beginning of this situation, so we need to, as we look forward, we need to make sure that we start strategizing in ways that we are sustainable for us. Yes, so let's begin with the question of what is digital ministry. So Tim puts a link, thanks for that, Tim. He puts a link likely to one of his amazing services that he's been broadcasting on Facebook Live for some time now. So digital ministry, a common misconception about digital ministry is that it's Facebook, and people will say, my parish isn't on Facebook. And I'll be like, oh, they'll say like, my parish isn't on Facebook, like it's just Facebook. Like, nope. Digital ministry is not just Facebook. It's one of the things you can do, but it's not limited to Facebook. Facebook, of course, is a really effective and helpful platform, and in fact, it is the easiest and best way to reach most people fast, but I'll get into that more. Right now, I'm going to give you a list of what digital communications are, and I need you to start thinking about how you can use them to your full advantage during this pandemic. Okay, so social media is an example of digital ministry, as platforms that we can use for digital ministry, right? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, right? I'm not going to say you need to use them all, but there are some examples of social media platforms. Social media is a website or an application that's designed to allow people to share content quickly, efficiently, and in real time. So I'm on Facebook right now. And I also put this same posting on Instagram, inviting people to hop on from our diocesan Instagram here to our diocesan Facebook. So social media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. These are a WhatsApp. Thank you. Yeah. Is that a communication tool or is it a social media platform? I don't know. I have WhatsApp on my phone. I don't use it a lot. I know it's really, really popular amongst our international populations. But thanks for shooting that in, because I think WhatsApp is critical for communication. I hear this a lot from a lot of people. Email, you guys. Often we underestimate the power and the value of email. So everyone knows what email is, right? It's just you use your computer and you send messages, and I'll talk a little bit more about email in a second. Video conferencing such as like Zoom, Skype, Google Chats. That's another example of what we'll refer to for the purposes of this conversation: digital communications, digital ministry, video conferencing, email, social media. So those are the basic three kind of ways that we're going to approach digital ministry for this morning's Live with Leanne special COVID-19 edition, how to use digital ministry to connect during a pandemic. All right, let's start with social media. Hopefully, I'm just going to check, because if anybody's interacting with me on the diocesan Facebook, I am not able to, I'm broadcasting, what is this social media platform? Like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest. Those are social media platforms, right? So let me just make sure that I'm not missing any comments on the diocesan Facebook, because I'm live from the Leanne Matthews social media Facebook page right now. Neil, I found it powerful to pray together on Zoom at Supper Club, also during my live compline service on Facebook on Sunday. Yes, agreed. And we will of course be talking about what happened on last night's amazing digital supper club. John and Yale has a comment too, and I'm going to check on that in a second. I just want to make sure that I don't leave anybody out who may be watching from. Great, no comments yet from the diocesan page. So John Danielle, I wanted to make sure I got to your comment. A general item for each site, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, each of those is a platform. Thank you. Please make sure to a general term for each site. Right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Feel free to respond to questions and with your own wisdom, because I think this is a great opportunity for us to learn from each other together this morning on Live with Leanne. Thank you. So many of you are here, and I'm really grateful that we have this chance to learn and connect during this pandemic. All right. So let's start with social media. First of all, I already said this, but I'll say it again. I want to congratulate you guys for many of you using Facebook in so many profound and impactful ways to connect to your communities. I have seen so many live church services, sermons, so much great stuff going on. So hats off again to those of you who have responded so quickly and with so much empathy to your community by making sure to still be there for them in the ways that you can during the pandemic. So I'll just stop quickly to read John Neil's comment that downtown young adults have also been getting together. Just getting a call from Ingrid. Ingrid, I'll have to call you back. Hopefully, if anybody can reach out to Ingrid, she may be trying to log on. So if anybody can reach out to Ingrid and let her know how to log on to this Facebook right now, that'd be great. So yeah, as Neil says, the Zoom has worked. It really worked for us too, and I will talk more about Zoom in a moment. Mark says that the Dio is doing a super job with their short prayer services on Facebook Live. What I like best is they keep things simple. He also viewed St. George's Pastor Canada's Sunday service on Zoom. However, in hindsight, they might have benefited from not trying too much on a first effort. Example, trying to integrate music and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot. This is a learning curve time. Hey Anderson, welcome to a special COVID-19 edition of Live with Leanne. So glad that many of you are hopping on. We're going through the different platforms of trying to remember to stay connected during this pandemic. Michael Robson wants to know if I'll be including how to live stream and record a service from a PC. I have an outline of stuff, and if I miss anything, we will connect after this live stream, and I will see if I can respond to as many of your queries as possible. So we are talking about social media. I'm congratulating those of you who have been so effective already at using it. So hats off. That's all I want to say. Being creative and staying connected during the pandemic. Hats off to those of you who are already going. Facebook, of course, is ideal for this, as we can use the live video feature. For example, that's what I'm doing right now. It's super simple. I didn't have to edit anything. I just clicked live, shared with you guys in advance that I was doing this just to give you some sense of preparation, and here we are. I am live from my bedroom this morning in my home studio, and yeah, and we're able to connect with such great ease. So of course, using Facebook Live is a phenomenal way. Thanks, Artie, for sharing the link to your page. Maybe that's why Ingrid was calling me. I'm assuming that is why. Yeah, so you can also use Facebook, of course, to share blog posts. This is a great time to start writing, reflecting, and blogging. So nothing is wrong with a good old-fashioned blog post, you guys. So you can blog, you can post your pictures, your prayers, your stories, and more. Despite the plethora of social media platforms, statistically and demographically speaking, still the most effective and easiest way to connect with people is through Facebook. So I know people will say they don't trust Facebook, or they're not on Facebook. It's still, despite all of the critiques and legit criticisms about Facebook, it's still the #1 platform that to connect with people. Facebook also has wonderful messaging options, so I really, really implore you to get on Messenger and connect with people that way, including a brilliant video chat option. Yay! Ingrid made it. Thank you. So glad. Sorry I couldn't reply to your call, Ingrid. I was using my phone for the live stream. Yeah, so for example, when I was away on a cruise ship, of course I have my mom. And my mom and I, my mom was nervous that I wasn't here, so I was able to use Facebook video chat with her in the evening, and she took great comfort in that. She was like, I can see you, it's like you're here. And she could call me, I could call her. So Facebook has chat groups and video chat options, so not only can you use Facebook as like, to connect with larger groups, but you can connect in more intimate ways with smaller groups, or even individually one-on-one. You can set up pastoral calls. So check out Facebook's messaging options and video options for an even greater ability to connect in larger or smaller groups. Instagram has huge merits too. I love Instagram. It of course is rapidly gaining more traction even among the older demographic. Instagram is great for sharing pictures, for those blog posts. Again, you can repurpose the content from your Instagram and your Facebook. The stories features is amazing because it really allows people to get a more intimate look at your life, at your heart, to see, to get a glimpse of really who you are. So this again alleviates the feeling of isolation and loneliness if people can see you and what you're up to. It makes them feel more connected and less alone. But I think really the takeaway, what I wanted to really say to you, and what I hope that you hear, and if you have a pen, write this down and figure this out for yourselves. But whether you're using Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, or whether you are on TikTok or Snapchat, the most helpful posture to assume in these uncertain times is one of authenticity and transparency. So just show up however you are. Just show up. This, of course, is how we connect, because right now we're all looking to each other. We're looking to reflect back this authentic experience, and for a lot of us that might be one of fear. Great. Okay, so some people are having trouble logging in. Glad that you're here now. If you can't log in, no worries, because I am going to be downloading this and putting it on our website, and we'll put it into an email. So don't worry if you can't be here. If anybody isn't able to log on now, you can rest assured that you will still have access to this live stream later on, and the PDF of everything I'm explaining. So in terms of like showing up with transparency and authenticity, I don't think you should come on Facebook Live and like start crying or anything. I don't think you should have a complete meltdown. I mean, you start crying, you know, that's okay, because crying is normal, but I'm saying, like, don't have a complete, like, meltdown. Don't lose it altogether. Or don't record videos of yourself in a heap on the floor. I'm just saying, show up with, you know, just being who you are, with as much transparency and authenticity as you can muster in these times. Pray with an earnest heart. Like, prayer, of course, takes a lot of vulnerability to pray on a live platform, and to be in community and look at yourself. If you look at yourself, which is awkward, but just to see, yeah, welcome. So many of you are hopping on. Thank you for being here. You're just showing up with as much authenticity as you can muster to pray, to lament, and to remind your audience about the faithfulness of God. You can read scripture that reflect these struggles, but most importantly, and here's another takeaway, that not only do I want to implore you to show up with as much authenticity as you can muster, but also to really, really wrap your head around the prospect of how you can listen right now. So I'm doing a lot of talking, but really what I'm here for this morning is because I want to know where you guys are at, how I can help you, and how we can help each other. And so this isn't, I always say this on Live with Leanne, this is not a monologue, it's a dialogue. So how can you create opportunities for dialogue on these platforms? This is your unique question. How can you listen? It's your ultimate challenge, really, I would say. So how can you use social media to listen to your community? That will look different for all of us, because all of our communities are different. But you need to ask questions. That just could be as simple as asking a question and seeing what comes up. And of course, I have done lots of trial and error on these platforms, as I assume we all have. And sometimes you ask a question that you think is the most poignant and significant question in the world, and you get 0 responses. And sometimes you ask a question that may seem very mundane, and it lights up, it goes viral and lights up everybody's Facebook platform, and you get tons of responses and engagement. And people are really, you know, engaging. That's what we want. We want to listen to people. We want to make people feel heard and encourage conversation. And listening is imperative. So how can you use social media to listen to your community? Ask questions, provoke dialogue, check in. So these beautifully curated posts with graphics and animations and perfect audio and well curated videos. Like right now, an authentic inquiry and some explicit concern for the well-being of your people is way more important than a perfect product. So just figure out a way to show up with authenticity and a spirit of inquiry. What's going on with your people? How can you serve them? So I would suggest creating a weekly editorial calendar for your social media platforms. So just, you know, jot down a calendar Sunday to Saturday, and just start looking at how you can show up with regularity and consistency. I would also suggest that you post every day and not do the same thing every day. So you would stagger your posts so that one day you're maybe using live video, one day you're maybe putting a blog post, one day you're maybe sharing a picture from something that's going on in your life or in your ministry or your cat. You know, just show up. Glad you're finally finding us. So glad. I know that some people are having trouble logging on, not quite sure why, but glad that you are here anyway. Just want to check in with the other platform to make sure I'm not missing any questions. So this is Live with Leanne. We are live on Facebook this morning. Every Tuesday morning we do this live thing. Last week it was Neil. He did Now with Neil. Thanks to Neil for doing that in my absence. And this morning, of course, I am on self-quarantine, so I am live from my bedroom in my home. But we're just talking about how to use social media to... Yeah, we're going to talk about, Jenny is asking about, we're going to go to the, what do we call those things? Video conferencing tools very shortly. Stay tuned, and I will have a PDF available for you, so definitely getting there. Thank you. Keep the questions and comments flowing. I'm going to see if I can make sure that I address your concerns or questions to the best of my ability. Okay, so just talking about how to get going on social media to build a strategy around connecting with your community during a pandemic. And I'm talking about making an editorial calendar so that you have a schedule that you are trying to follow throughout the week that is engaging and relevant and has a spirit of inquiry. And thank you for that, Sally. Love the exhortation towards authenticity and transparency. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, Sally, for that. So yeah, just be varied. So the thing is, you don't want to lose the attention of your audience. So if you just do the same thing every day, it becomes like white noise and people don't hear you anymore. Again, we have a lot of digital stimulation. So I know I'm asking a lot of you, but the balance here is between showing up and being creative and varied. So it's a delicate balance. So showing up alone is not the answer. You need to be you need to have some type of creative variability in your posts. So there's no formula for this, you guys. This is not, I can't tell you the formula because I'm not you. You need to do a personal assessment and an assessment of your community and figure out what the needs of your community are and what your gifts and strengths are and how they might marry in the best possible way to create this digital calendar to best serve your people. I have a couple of examples just off the top of my head. For example, if you have a gift for knitting, I don't knit. I've always wished I could knit, but I don't knit. But if you were a knitter, for example, okay, you just might want to go on Facebook Live or Instagram Live, and knit while responding to chat that may arise. Like invite other people to knit with you. I know people do these knitting circles. I'm always so jealous of these knitters. Like you show up at these like hipster cafes and everybody's knitting. Like it's awesome. And it's very like Zen, right? I know we can't do that in the hipster cafe anymore, but we can create an online knitting circle, you guys. Maybe you could even teach me how to knit because I don't know how. And if ever I get any extra time on my hands, which I don't foresee in the near future, given that my job couldn't be any more busy than it is right now, I would hopefully be knitting with you. Don't worry about getting it wrong. Go with what feels right. Great advice. Keep the advice flowing, you guys. You guys are we're all in this experimental phase together. So I love the encouragement. So knitting and chatting. A ministry of presence is a precious gift to your community. You can have a weekly digital office hours, for example, where you just show up and share how your day is going and make some space to hear how other people's day is going. Like these are just a few basic examples. There's a knitting group at St. Matthias. Okay, now you guys need to get a digital knitting group together. A slick stream isn't what is required. It's about connecting. Yes, Anderson. Thank you for the feedback. Keep them coming. Keep your questions, comments, feedback. Keep it all rolling. Share this video. We need to stick together more than ever during this period of isolation. So thank you for all that. So a few other ideas like hymn sing, obviously, a morning prayer, a Bible study, a meditation. Like that's what you can do all that stuff live, or you can pre-record videos and shoot them up here on your Facebook or on your Instagram or on your Twitter. So what are the pitfalls of social media platforms? Well, access. First of all, you need to have an internet access, and a lot of people don't have that. So that's a pitfall. Trust. People don't trust these platforms. They think that they're not safe here. And we need to talk to people, of course, about setting up the security, is that what they're called? Like those security measures so that you don't obviously put personal information out here. You don't give your social insurance number. You don't give your credit card information. You don't ideally give your full name or date of birth. It's good to have Leanne back. Thank you. It's good to be back. I too wished I could knit. The Knitwits at Epiphany tell me that they could teach me. I might take them up on it. Yes, you guys have to do a digital one and teach me too. And yeah, so they don't feel safe. They need to have access to an internet connection, and they don't feel like they can trust these platforms. And those are all legit concerns. And as leaders, we need to be mindful that these are concerns that some of our community might have. And how can we address these concerns and assure that there are ways to use these platforms that are safe and will not put them in harm's way? So yeah, maybe some I was just thinking maybe like, if these concerns arise, you could host a social media tutorial session or something around safe practices, best practices. The nice thing about Zoom is people can also dial in from a phone. True. We're going to talk about Zoom. You guys are jumping the gun, but thanks for that, Deborah, and we will be talking about Zoom in a hot minute. All right, email. I love email. I think that email gets a bad rap because it's kind of like not the new kid on the block. It's been around the longest, but I think that to have a digital, to have like a social media campaign. I'll read that comment in a second, Sophie. Without a great email list and an ability to connect with people through email is actually, they go really great together. That's what I'm trying to say. So email is not what it used to be. Like email now can be beautiful. Did I miss your advice for 70 plus? No, you didn't miss my advice for 70 plus. But I'll go there. And I'll read Sophie's comment. Don't give information like your mom's maiden name or your favorite pet or anything else you'd be using as a question to guarantee it's you. Yeah, like for passwords and stuff like that. There's a lot of like basic things you guys, leaders, can share with their congregations to protect them against the dangers of, I guess it's identity theft and stuff on social media platforms. All right. Email is brilliant. You can just send a basic email. Most of you already have emails because you've been sending out your bulletins via email for years and years. So this is your chance to capitalize on that email list and to reach out to people. I would urge you all, this is again a really, I would say, like, write this down, but I would say if you do nothing else other than today, I would say create an email campaign starting now that is directly targeting the pandemic. This is an email campaign. How would that look? Connecting with people who are isolated and shut in during this pandemic. Email is a great way to reach a whole bunch of people, even those who are not on social media. Many people do still have email. I know not everybody has email, and I am mindful of that. And I also think that now is probably as good a time as ever to talk about the importance of picking up the phone and calling people. So these are all strategies to use as well as in addition to phone calls. If you can pull that off, definitely please call your people. Call as many people as you can, and if they have texting, you can text people. So staying connected using every single one of your resources at this juncture is, of course, the idea, and to do an audit of what resources your communities have and that you have access to. Write them all down and see how you can use each of them to their full advantage during the pandemic. So I just hope that I left you feeling a little bit inspired about emails, because you need to use your emails right now. You need to connect with people through email, and I like to use MailChimp. It's really easy. They have these like templates that you can use to really make them much more interesting, visually attractive. You can put photos and videos in your emails so that it feels a bit more interactive than like just a straight old like text email. You know, people are more stimulated by videos and photos, so you can include those very easily using MailChimp, or just use a standard email campaign. Just reach out to your people, use email, and then you can use your email to tell them to share your digital, your beautiful editorial calendar that of course you all have made by the end of today. You all have created an editorial calendar, and that can go into your email campaign, and people will know what to expect from you and how they can rely on you and stay connected during the COVID-19 pandemic. What's the pitfall of email? Internet access. Where are email templates? Asks Roz. Email templates can be found in MailChimp, but I think even if you Google like email template, like all this stuff, of course, everything I'm saying, Google has all the information you need, and I'm also here for, you know, follow-up conversations. But Google email template. I like MailChimp. It's a bit of a learning curve, like with all things. Getting familiar with MailChimp as a platform takes a little bit of time, but we have extra time right now, right? This is our time to really start learning and leaning into how to use digital communications to our greatest advantage, including email options such as MailChimp. All good in the hood. I'm going to take a quick look at the Anglican Diocese of Montreal to make sure that I'm not leaving out any questions there. All right, as always, we have a whole bunch of viewers, but most of you are watching me here through my Leanne Matthews platform. So if you're just hopping on, I'm Leanne Matthews. This is Live with Leanne, and we are doing a special COVID-19 webinar this morning addressing digital ministry during a pandemic. Sometimes there's too much information. I would definitely recommend MailChimp. Thank you for that, Sophie. I'm glad I have another vote for MailChimp. But I think, like, tell me if I'm wrong, but I mean, the pitfall of MailChimp is it does take a little bit of, you know, you have to get used to it. It's a bit like, it's got a bit of like a website feeling to it. And of course I do websites and stuff, but I found it a bit tricky to get used to. It didn't happen to me like overnight. I would say it took me a couple of weeks to really feel comfortable, but I think it's a very worthwhile investment of your time and energy, because it will make your emails more beautiful, more effective, and ultimately make people feel more connected, which is our goal right now. And yeah, let's talk about, it seems like everybody's favorite topic of conversation today, and I agree, video conferencing. So of course last night we did hold our first digital supper club. This was an entirely experimental ministry for us, because we have never ever used digital platform for a supper club. We've been building this face-to-face ministry for a number of years now, and it's been growing exponentially. Like, we are thrilled with the efficacy of face-to-face supper club with food and all that, but that obviously is off the table for us right now. Yeah, so many good questions. I just want to finish what I'm saying, and I'm going to go and read those. So yeah, face-to-face supper club, yay. Couldn't do that anymore, so we did digital supper club on Zoom last night. We got 20 participants, and we prayed together. We saw each other. We used, what do you call that thing? I always forget what it's called. You know, what? It's like when everybody's face is there. I wrote it down somewhere. You know, I forget what it's called. I wrote it somewhere, but it was a wonderful gathering of supper club community. It was good for my soul. It was good for my soul too. I just want to make sure that I use the right word. What's the word? Anyway, there's like gallery. We used gallery view so that we could all see each other at the same time. And honestly, Caroline says it was the highlight of her day. Honestly, in some ways, I'm not even joking. Yes, Brady Bunch mode for the oldies, thank you. In some ways, okay, I felt that the Zoom video gallery, thank you, you guys, thank you, that like seeing all of your faces was actually better, because we have a rather large group at Supper Club, and I'm straining, I can't see people across the table. I could actually see everybody. Just like that, and it felt really deeply connecting. We worshiped and shared and prayed together, and it was real. Yes, it was all that. So this is so video conferencing tools such as Zoom and Google Chats, and what else is there? Skype, you know, and even I think like Facebook, you can do video conferencing. You can. They're amazing, and probably because people can actually respond in real time. They don't have to just, like right now, like I'm talking and you can hear me, but I can't hear you, unfortunately, and that's a huge drawback, because we're not really in a conversation, because I'm the only one who can converse. But when you're on a Zoom call, in a Zoom meeting, you can, you know, host a lot of people who each have a chance to be heard. And we know that in ministry, the most pastoral and powerful thing we can do is to listen to each other. So we listened, and it was powerful. So thank you for that. I want to make sure like that I missed some comments, didn't I? I missed some comments. If you guys were talking a little bit about Zoom and stuff, I'm sorry, I'll go back and read them after, but they're gone out of my view right now. Love this, Leanne. There's so much anxiety and uncertainty around the world, but these times can be an opportunity to offer more time to give each other focused attention and share faith. Zoom has a maximum 40-minute call unless you have a paid membership. Again, great tips, you guys. Keep shooting your tips and insights and wisdom into the comments. This is an opportunity for us to use our hive mind to learn from one another. Absolutely right, Sophie. You can only get 40 minutes free, but I've heard of people do, because we have like an account, like a real account, so a paid account, so I get as much time as I want. But I've heard of people do, they'll like book their 40 minutes and then book an additional 40 minutes in succession, so that you still can have like an 80-minute, you know, conference if you want. Just breaks up into 2 sessions, but it's free, so definitely check out Zoom. I've had a lot of success with Zoom. Google Chats is apparently also amazing, as I said. So any of these video conferencing options, a number of you were commenting on how you've been using it for your ministry, so yay to that, and congratulations to you all for using video conferencing during this pandemic. I really would say that, I'll just reiterate that video conferencing really does offer a kind of intimacy that you can't get from other types of digital ministry, like, because you can hear each other, as I said. There's an abundance of creative ways to use these platforms, and this is your opportunity to consider them. So I don't know you and I don't know your community, but if your community loves music, maybe you could sing together. If your community loves to do a Bible study, brilliant way to do a Bible study. I did EFM. Part of my EFM course was, of course, online. I did part of it face-to-face and part of it online, and we did it even prior to the amazing Zoom technology. And I found EFM, digital EFM, to be really powerful and pastoral and just, life-giving. So I'm a big fan of, even when you're able to be in face-to-face community, which we of course are not right now, I'm a big fan of reaching out to one another however we can. So Artist put the link to Zoom pricing. Thank you for that. So what are the pitfalls of video conferencing? Well, again, you need a stable internet connection. So that means you need to have internet. Technology glitches can happen. So sometimes, like, the audio gets wonky. That can be really challenging. Even last night when we were doing this brilliant sharing, this essential brilliant sharing, that we were all leaning into each other's words with so much, so much love and care and empathy. And sometimes, like, the microphone was wonky and we couldn't hear every word, and that was difficult, challenging, not gonna lie. And sometimes the microphones can be weird, the video can be weird. So technology has its glitches, so we need to be really patient, and we need to be really modify our expectations as we experiment. My mom just hopped on. My mom, of course, is upstairs. So Mom, hi, I am live from downstairs today, not live from downtown. I'm live from my bedroom. So welcome aboard, you guys. We're doing a special edition of Live with Leanne. This is the COVID-19 pandemic edition. And of course, I am here to hopefully support you and offer you some digital ministry suggestions and tips and insights that I have, and hopefully you can all also support each other based on your experiences as we navigate this new situation. Edited videos. So first of all, videos, as you probably know, these are very evident statistics. They're everywhere. The statistics around videos are very clear that people respond more to video than any other type of a communication. So if you want to get your message across, either use live or create a curated or edited video. Now, I'm a big fan of live because there's no editing or curation. Yes, Anderson, Leanne should get an award for this. The award of Anderson. I will take it. Yes, please. Yeah, so videos are easy to do this way. You just click the live button and you don't have to worry about anything, except for maybe things going terribly wrong, and in which case you just don't have to upload the video and nobody ever knows it happens. If you curate a video, this could be easier for people who may be a bit shy to be on camera, and it gives you an option to, like, start and start again. But I find what ends up happening is you do start and start again, and then you kind of lose the authentic connection that you might have if you were not able to make the edits. So this is, again, if we talk about authenticity and showing up with as much of it as you can muster, a live video is better. But curate your videos too if you would like to. It gives you an opportunity to add some music and to create maybe a more dimensional experience for your viewers. You can also set up a YouTube channel at this time. You could even set up a concerted response to maybe a series of short videos, a concerted response to COVID-19, a pastoral response to COVID-19. How that might look, I don't know, because I don't know your heart, but you need to pray and lean into where your heart is, and create a video that best reflects where you feel called and how you feel called to respond to your community. Shorter videos, of course, are better than longer videos, and they have the most likelihood of being viewed. And the videos can be uploaded to Facebook and Instagram. Again, you can repurpose this content, and they can be included in your email campaigns as well. So if you do create a curated video, you can link that video, especially if you have a YouTube channel. It's very easy to link those videos in your email campaigns, on your Facebook. You can use Instagram TV. But that's going a bit ahead of the game. Everybody's at a different level in terms of their level of digital literacy, and if preaching by webinar, it may be better if someone else can run the board. Yes, it may be better to have someone else run the board. If organizers, yes, it's always better to have more people and more support, absolutely. And if you can get someone to run the board, please do. I'm very blessed to have Ardith usually at the front desk, and even at the front desk likely of the Synod office right now, and she puts links to our dialogue, and if anybody is talking about something, then she'll go and grab that link and throw it in to allow people to really network and connect more easily. So what are the pitfalls of videos? Well, videos require editing and uploading, and these steps may inhibit your desire to create. So the last thing I want to do is to inhibit your desire to create. Right now, I want you to feel a spark of creativity. I want you to feel a spark of curiosity and a desire to figure out the best ways that you can continue to build community and respond pastorally to your people who need you more now than ever. So this is why edited videos might be a turnoff, or they might be like you might be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to learn to get some editing skills and to learn how to edit videos on my iPhone or on my tablet or on my laptop. Yeah. So one of the things I do want to say, co-create this new form of ministry with others. Yeah, co-create this new form of ministry with others. So many great comments. I know I missed a lot of them. I do have a few more things to say, and I am now open to any questions if you have them, and if I can answer them, I will try. One thing that did come to mind for me, as I think it was Valerie who said, what about the 70+ contingent? Yeah, so 70+ does not necessarily mean people who are over 70 are not using and are becoming more literate with digital communications. This is, of course, and there are like lots and lots of ways that people can get more engaged with, older people can get engaged with digital communications. However, if you're trying to imply that if you're implying maybe that 70+ are not online, many of them are not. This is true, and this is definitely a limitation during this COVID-19 pandemic because their isolation is real. So if there are a contingent of older people who are not online, this is when we need to rely on the phone, and that's not even always an option either. I'll just give you a quick example. Last night for supper club, we were going to, of course, we met digitally, and one of our members was bereft because she couldn't join us. And I'm like, you can just call in, because Zoom does have, that was part of the chat that was going on, Zoom does have a phone-in option. And I was like so encouraged. I was just telling her, you can just call in. I don't even have a phone. And that's when I realized the sense, and she was really quite upset last night. I get so much from this community, and suddenly now she was on the outside. So that is a concern. She does have email, so I will follow up with her by email today. But she couldn't use, didn't have access to, she uses email from the library. Anyway, all this to say, please get creative. And people can be technophobes who are under 70 as well, absolutely. Please be creative. Please look around and sniff under every rock to start wondering how your people are doing, what their needs are, and how you can connect with them. This, of course, is a webinar on digital ministry. So my goal today was to hopefully inspire a bit of a dialogue and give you some ideas around how you can use these platforms to best connect with your people. Yes, and like continue to use Facebook Live in your churches. I know a lot of people are broadcasting their sermons and stuff, and that's great. Some people can't afford internet and use public. The phone is the way to go. Yes, all that. Thank you for that. Right on. My gosh, I've been rambling. As of course I've already said, I will be making this video available on our website, so I'm going to download it. I'm not going to edit it. You're going to get it exactly as it is. I was thinking of editing. Maybe I'll edit out the bits about Disney because that might not be relevant. But I will probably just leave it as it is. I will also have a PDF for you, and I am also, you smashed it, Leanne. Thank you. Thanks, Anderson. You're my favorite. When you don't show up on like these Tuesday mornings, I inbox you like, where are you? I missed you. Antoinette's watching. Some of you are just hopping on. I'm about to hop off, but I hope this was helpful. I hope I can be here for you if I missed anything. Somebody asked about like how to do something on a PC. I don't really know PC very well. I am, of course, an Apple person, but I'm willing to have a conversation with you and see if I can, what do you call that? Like just brainstorm and see if I can help you, if I can refer you to somebody else who can help you. Because, you know, I do digital communications here for the Anglican Diocese of Montreal, and I mostly work on a PC. I'm not a techie. I'm more of a creative, and I've been really enjoying creative ways of connecting and building communities, building digital communities with a spirit of authenticity and humility. It's okay, I'll watch from the beginning later. Yay, Artie says, great prices for internet connections. There are some great prices. Cool, just mentioned my name. Funny, Artie. All right, you guys, I'm probably gonna leave it there for today. If I don't have any more questions or comments or anything, definitely feel free to reach out to me. I know that some of you have asked me for some support, and if this did not answer your inquiry, then let's set up another time to chat. I just hope that you will just continue to reflect on your gifts and how you can best use those gifts to respond pastorally to your people during this difficult time of isolation. Hold retreats online. Yeah, it's a great idea. Anderson, you should come to Supper Club on Monday night. I know you're in the UK, so yeah, we should do that. There's a lot we can do. I'm not gonna lie, I've actually found myself I look at this as an opportunity. I look at this, even though this is a very difficult time, I'm not trying to undermine the severity of the pandemic, but for those of us who are engaged, who are excited about the opportunity of connecting and making sure that we don't put on hold our ministries, I look at this as an opportunity. So there's the question from Michael. I want to put out a service on Sunday. All I have to do is my laptop, its camera, microphone, and internet connection. I'm not particularly internet savvy and have limited experience with social media. There's something else, something simple to use. I think you should have it all right there. I would suggest to you, Michael, I would suggest just clicking live on your go on Facebook. If you don't have a Facebook account, create a Facebook account, one for your church or one for you, and go and I click go live on Facebook. I love how positive Leanna is. This is so lacking right now. Yay, oh, I'm glad, thank you. But yeah, so go live on Facebook. If you guys need like a step-by-step on how to go live on Facebook, you can even Google you can even Google how to go live on Facebook. Thanks for the positivity, you guys. Thank you for that and the encouragement. Appreciate that. And I hope that going live doesn't feel like too much of a challenge. It's really I say easy, but I know easy for me and easy for you are different. I've been playing around with this for a long time, so it feels easy for me after a long period of trial and error. But if you do Google step by step, how do I go live on Facebook, it will give you the steps, and you just follow them and be prepared to make about 100 mistakes, and maybe at the 101st attempt it'll work out. We really have to be gentle with each other right now and patient as we are trying to connect. There's going to be mistakes because we're learning. But I applaud you for your spirit of leaning into learning something new and to trying digital ministry, because we have to show up for each other right now more than ever. And of course we have to pray, and we have to listen. So use all of these platforms, email, social media. It's easy and fun, says Neil. I agree, but you know, we're all in a different place. Some people find it stressful and horrible. Everything is hard until it becomes easy. True, great point. Thank you for Michael. Excellent. Okay, so use your email, you guys. Use your Facebook. Just use your Facebook. Let's stop there. Use your Facebook, use your email, and use your Embracing a New Era. Yes, and use video conferencing tools that can be free and right underneath your noses. Use those tools to connect and figure out how to best do that for you. These are guidelines from me, but you're the best judge of all that. I'm going to stop now. I am also going to thank you and remember that I am praying for you guys. I know this is a scary time, but let's keep doing this. And I'll be back next Tuesday morning at 10, and we'll be at Supper Club Monday evening again. You guys, all of you can hop on the Zoom. You have no idea how powerful it can be to come together and to read scripture and to pray and to listen. Like huge, amazing, beautiful stuff. blessed by God, and I feel blessed that I get a chance to talk to you guys like this. So I'm done. It's been a slice. Keep your eye on the website for the upload of all this stuff. Share this video. You guys are the best.